Yo, what is up, guys? Sandy Raw back. Today, we're back with Blue Yellow Ace, a leader that is near and dear to my heart. An amazing leader effect here. Dawn times 2. Activate main once per turn. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Add up to 1 5-cost character to the top of your life face up. Then place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. And then we do have an end of turn effect. Send all face up cards in your life to the trash. So, we already know this. We have more than enough 5-cost characters in order for us to not whiff our search. We're about 85 to 90% hit rate here. We can definitely check that out in the hypergeometric calculator, whatever. Kind of, you plug in how many cards you have in said deck, and it tells you what the percentage is. We can check that out at the end of the video here. But first things first, 5,000 power leader, blue and yellow. Kind of gonna cover everything here with Blue Yellow Ace, just because I've been working on this deck for a minute now, kind of hoping for the best support we can. And OP13, PRB02 have been definitely very helpful. But then we do have a promo card on here that we're kind of experimenting here, see what we can do, but I'm gonna go over the complete list here. All right, starting off, we're running 4 of the 5-cost blocker aces. It has 6,000 power, 1k counter. On play, draw 2 cards and return 2 cards from your hand to the top or bottom of your deck in any order. So basically, we're gonna be able to set that so we can continuously use our leader effect to our advantage with other cards here. Then we have the 5-cost Luffy, 7,000 power, blocker, 1,000, it has a 1k counter, but it does say if you have 5 or more cards in your hand, this character cannot attack. So for the majority of the game, this blocker might be just a blocker, unless we're countering out very heavily, get attacked to our hand, whatever, but it can be cheated out. Now this is the promo 5-cost, 6,000 power blocker as well, 1k counter. On play, look at the 3 cards from the top of your deck and place them at the top or bottom in any order. Then give up to 1 Rested Dawn card to your leader or character. But it's not a search, it's just rearranging the top 3. If you don't see any 5s, send it to the bottom. If you see what you like, rearrange it, make sure we get what we want. And it's a blocker, solid attack. Then we have another 5-cost, 6,000 power, 2k counter, forecast the ace. Plain and simple, just a 2k counter, can also be cheated out. Then we're running 1 of the tax beards here. On play, if your leader has the Whitebeard Pirates, which of course he does, and we have 2 or less life cards. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, all of your opponent's characters cannot attack, of course, unless they discard 2 cards first from their hand. So, great play with this tax beard here, 12,000 power, and then we can attack our opponent's life and postpone attacks coming in. But we're only running 1. The other 3, of course, are going to be the OP13 blocker, 12,000 power. On play, draw 2 cards and trash 1 card from hand. Then give your leader and up to 1 of your characters up to 2 Rested Dawn cards each, respectively. Then we have Charlotte Flampe, which is going to allow us to add 1 card from our top or bottom of our life to our hand and draw a card at the same time. Plus, it's a 2k counter. Then we're running 4 Violas, blocker. On play, choose one of the following. Look at the top of your opponent's life cards, or look at your opponent's life cards and rearrange them however you want. The other one is turn all your life cards face down. Very powerful. Then we have 2 Zeuses. On play, you may add 1 card from top or bottom of your life. KO one of your opponent's 5 cost or less. We already know this, and it's a 2k counter. Beautiful. Of course, we're running the baby Ace and the baby Luffy. They have the same effect, except for 1 cheats out the Ace, 1 cheats out the Luffy. Activate main, you may trash this character. And then we look at our top life. If 1 is the Ace, we get to play, and we get plus 2,000 to our leader. And the same thing for the Luffy, except for a Luffy. Then we're running the promo Sabos. Now these came out in PRB02. The art does not look like this at all. I wish it did. It's beautiful. But it's a 5-cost, 5,000 power, 2,000 counter. The power is, it's all right, but we're using it as a 2k counter mainly. As you can see, we're not running the baby Sabos here. I feel like a lot of the sabos that are out there right now that are 5 costs just aren't that valuable for this leader. It does have an activate main once per turn, where we can add the top or bottom of our life card to our power, and then the character gains 1000 power. But it's really not as powerful as it may seem. It's just not. We'll see that in play later on. But then we have the PRB02 Aces. Now this is going to keep our engine going here. This is 5 cost, 7000 power on play. If you have a face-up life card, play up to 1 Sabo, Porgas D Ace, or Monkey D Luffy with a cost of 2 from your hand or trash. Beautiful effect. Then we have the Rush Ace, where we have to have 2 or less life in order to gain Rush. This is an on-play effect. And then we're running OP13s. If I give into Force, there will be no point to my life. This has a main where you may rest a Dawn, and then if you have 1 or less life cards, when your leader attacks, your opponent cannot activate blocker during this turn. And then we have counter plus 3000. Beautiful. Then we're running 2 Red Rocks. We already know this. Place one character, up to 1 character at the bottom of the owner's deck. A bottom deck effect. Beautiful. And then the ST13 I Am Whitebeard, where if our leader has a Whitebeard Pirates type, we can play up to 1 Edward Newgate from our hand. And then we may add the top or bottom card from our life into our hand. And if we do, we get plus 2000 until the end of the turn. So let's break down the engine here. We'll always need 2 Dawn attached to our leader in order to do the search effect. So that's always going to take 2 Dawn away from us. What we need from this leader is now answers to our face-up life card. So we have all these 5 costs here. Doesn't matter the type, as long as it's 5 costs, and it can go into the top of our life. Now we need answers to resolve that card's effect. That way we can gain something out of it and not just lose that card. For instance, the Flampe, we can add the card and then draw 1. The Viola can face it down. The Zeus can also draw it while KOing a character with the 5 cost. And then the babies can obviously cheat out whatever card is on there, as long as it is an Ace or a Luffy. The Sabo will be able to take 1 as well. It's a little bit more expensive, and it's a 2k counter out of hand, and we're not going to be able to attack right away. And we don't get any power to our leader. But it does answer the question at hand, really, which is what are we going to do with this card in our life? Boom, right here. And then, of course, this one is going to cheat out one of the babies to cheat out whatever's in our life. As far as this is the big player here with our leader effect. We'll be able to use 2 Dawn, because this is an 8 cost event. We'll be able to use 2 Dawn to give to our leader, do a top search, and hopefully find a card to put in there to then cheat out the Newgates and gain plus 2000 to our leader. And if we're able to cheat out the blocker, we'll be gaining an additional 2. So we're going to be swinging for 9, but then we'll be defending with 7. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, we have, I believe I have 4 games lined up, maybe 5. I'll have to check. We're going to bring that up right now, and we'll go over those leaders real quick. And this is pretty much the engine here. We have the answers, we have the 5 costs, we just need the action. So let's move over to our other page here real quick. Here is our beautiful ace leader. We love him. We love him. But first things first, of course, it's the leaders we're going to be fighting. Bringing the law down on these guys. Speaking of, first leader is going to be Red Green Law. Now this is OP01. Alright, so he's gonna be doing some OP01 shenanigans. Playing down all the little cards first. 1 cost, 2 cost, 3 cost, little searchers, little jump blockers. And then he's gonna bounce them back, and then he's gonna start kicking your ass, dropping down the big boys, which is just usually 5 costs, but still, you wanna be cautious. After that, we're gonna be kicking Kuzan's ass, seeing what he's got. We played this on the previous video here. We saw the support, so we know what we got to be careful for. All right, so we'll see what we can do with Kuzan here. After Kuzan, we're going to be following up with Green Bonnie. Green Bonnie may be giving us a run for our money, but we're going to make sure this leader that constantly is defending and playing down blockers, we're going to see if we can get around those blockers and attack that hand while simultaneously slowly hitting their life, because we know this leader is very defensive. But after that, we follow up with the promo red purple law. So we know a lot about this leader. We know the one from the starter decks was way too powerful, generating way too much value from all the bounce effects, all the cheat out effects. It just was not fair. This one's a little different, you know, it's a little bit more nerfed down, but hey, a game's a game, and we want to see this leader be the best it can be. We want this for all our leaders. So kudos to all those deck builders out there that are trying to make all these characters work, or these leaders work. And then after the law, of course, we are finishing up with Dofi. We needed something new, exciting. You know, got a little bit of everything from the beginning to the end, or to the current state of the game. All right, so let's go ahead and pull up the videos, start reviewing them, and we can go from there. Let's get to it. All right, guys, and of course we do want to go second. Unfortunately for this game, we are going first. Let's go ahead and get this going here. So they play out a Luffy first, they play out a Perona, so they're searching, doing their thing, gotta do what they gotta do. We do have the Flampe, of course, so we could have definitely still used our leader effect, but it looks like we're just going to choose to play out this baby Luffy, and hopefully we can find one. If they somehow trash this, that's fine. We could always use the PRB02 Ace to cheat it out, so might as well play it out. It's counter in hand, but you know, we might get lucky on the next turn. Ideally, we should have attached 2 to our leader and then use the Flampe in order to draw 2 cards. So our opponent here has 4 Dawn. They are taking a little longer, but the video is sped up to 2 times speed. They're just going to go and attack 7 into 5. We have the counter, but should we take it? We do. It's a Sabo 2k counter. We have more counter now. All right, and they play out a Capone Baguette. I know it's beige, but still, it's funnier. It's funnier that way. All right, we use our leader effect here. We do have answers. We have the Flampe and the Viola, and technically the Sabo. But most likely we like to use the Sabo as a 2k counter. So we're just going to attack for 8 here and then play out the Viola to put that Portgas Ace face down. And then if it attack into us, that's another 2k counter in our hand. So now we got our opponent here down to 2 life. And they've been consistently flooding their board here with the little characters. That's what they want to do, so they can set up their big boys. Alright, so they saw me use my leader effect. They probably know what the Luffy does, and so they're planning on getting rid of that. So they're thinking, oh yeah, he didn't get lucky and find a Luffy. So now he wasted a 2k counter, which he might bounce back to his hand anyway, most likely. But that Luffy, I guess, was more bait than anything else, kind of forcing him to try to get rid of it. But there's only 4 actual targets in our deck that Luffy can pull. So it is what it is. They get the Viola out, and then our board is clear. They attack 5 and 5. 2k counter is a good answer here, but we'll give him a 1k with the Luffy because can't cheat it out, and we're not gonna hard play that out anyway. Honestly, if we would have used the Flampe, we could have got to that Luffy a lot quicker. The only answer here we have is the Flampe and the Sabo, but we need to develop some characters here, so we might just play out the Sabo, attacking for 7 and playing out the Sabo. But it looks like that's not the answer either. It looks like we're gonna use a Flampe. They're thinking about it. They should just get rid of the baguette there, you know? There's no point in taking the life or trying to counter out of that. So there we go. We get a 2k counter and the PRP02 Ace, which we can use to cheat out Luffy from our trash, the baby Luffy. All right, they play out the Cavendish. All right, they play out the Law. They bounce back to Luffy. They play out the Luffy, and they attack with the other Law. 16 to 5. We go ahead and 2k counter easy, and we go ahead and get the 2k counter from our life. We need to do something about this board. We need to do something about their life. We got to do something. So we're just going to attach 2 to our leader, just so we can get our leader effect off. Now there are some other blue yellow ace builds here that just gain life specifically, but that's not what I want to do with this leader. Like they'll play out the Sanji that you can attach Dawn to, and it cycles the cards out, so it'll draw one from your life, and then it'll add one from your deck face down. All right, looks like we are gonna cheat out the Luffy, gaining plus 1,000, which is the goal of this ace, to be a 7,000 power leader consistently. So this is the first time we're doing it here. We're gonna go for the board as best as we can, because if they counter out here, they're losing cards and the character, possibly. Well, if we attack into their life, that's just potentially hitting a trigger or just giving them more options on the following turn. So at this point, we need to clear this board. All right, so this has removal protection built in here, giving its leader minus 2,000 power. Seems good. We gotta get rid of it. But we're a 7,000 power leader right now, so they're gonna have to attach more Dawn than they probably would want to. And again, we can counter out with these babies now, since we have the PRB02 ace. Obviously, Gecko Moria is no longer an option for cards that play yellow and black, like the black and yellow Luffy. And this PRB ace is beautiful. Where normally we'd have to waste 2 cards. We could just kick it with 1. Might as well just get rid of that Luffy. We're not playing any more out anytime soon. It's kind of useless in our hand unless we get the ace that lets us draw 2 and then place 2. Oof. Hit us with the Bonnie, but we can still use this without gaining our life with our leader effect. Which we wouldn't anyway, because we probably need to take that life so we can be at 2, and then we get the effect from the new gate, and that way they can't attack with any of those characters. And that is a very well balanced board right there that can really kick our ass. So this is a play here that is attacking their hand essentially, so we can go for lethal. So we're a 7,000 power leader now, and we have a lot of relevant attacks coming in. Can't attack with a Luffy here because we do have one too many cards, because we did draw one from the I Am Whitebeard event. 7 and a 6. So we're attacking into the Cavendish here just specifically so they can counter out, so they can't have any more attacks on the following turn. Go ahead and pass it back. 2, 4, 6. All right. They have 6 cards in hand, which means they only have 3 attacks with their characters. Plus they're losing options from the pan. So they use round table, so that's 1 less attack. You can block this. And they play out a blocker. And now they attack into, what y'all thinking here? Our Luffy. Weird. They should have gone into our ace. Easy 2k counter here. So obviously that was a play mistake. They already have this ace at 12,000 power, minus 12,000 power. All right, they didn't even have to attach a Dawn to this dude. They could have just gone into it. But yeah, attaching a Dawn, maybe minus 2,000 to the Luffy. But hey, play mistakes. And it's not like you can attack with these characters anyway, because you only have 2 cards. So if anything, they can only attack with the Cavendish. But we were looking good anyway. If they would have attacked into the PRB02 ace here, we would have lost it 100% without a doubt. Gone. But on the next turn, I would have tried to maybe 2k counter for just so I can attack with the Luffy. So on the next turn, I have the rush ace too, even better. I would have been able to maybe attach 2 to the Luffy, attack, then attack with the new gate, have 2 blockers, then do my leader, then rush. Maybe I could have won, maybe not. But I had all the 2k counters in hand. GG to my opponent. Let's go ahead and check out the Kuzan game. Here we go against Kuzan. All right. What is the order of operations here? All right, looks like we're going second. Thank you. So we can play out the baby ace here because I know Kuzan can't get rid of anything until it gets 4 Dawn. So hopefully we can use the baby ace here on our turn, which is very likely since there are way too many aces in our deck. Well, you can never have enough, but there are quite a lot. So here we go. We have a new gate and the Iron Whitebeard event. Beautiful. We got the promo. We got the promo Porgas the Ace. We cheated out. Game plus 2,000 on our first turn. And it lets us set up our deck here so we can draw into what we need. We're going to follow up here by attacking for 9. Obviously, they're going to take this as a 5 life leader. Just more answers in their hand. Now, we just have to be careful because Kuzan attacks the hand very heavily. Here's a free block here. Let's see what they do. They hit us with the Isho. That's 2 cards out of our hand. It's not really a big deal because I feel like Ace has just so many branches. You know, so many things he can do. All right. We have an answer in Viola here. Looks like we're going to grab a 2k counter. I like attacking with my blockers. Really, this deck is almost very aggressive early on. Just big characters, big leader attacks. If we can get the engine going here. And there we go. Got 2 blockers, 1 sideways, but that's quite alright. That'll divert the attacks. Because once we get to the mid game here, we're going to be flooding the board. Alright, what do you want to do here? This could be met with the easy block just because we're going to be able to refresh this board and we're going to be getting rid of everything. So either let the character go or block it. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, just let it go. Alright, what's the following turn here? They have 6 Dawn. Could it be a Kuzan? I don't know why they would play that out. But we're just going to get the block here just because I know Kuzan can bounce things back, bottom deck things. So they could have Josu'd us. But that's alright. Alright, leader effect here. PRB2, PRB02 aces. But are we going to grab the 2k counter? That's 2 of those aces. We got to grab one, yeah, definitely. Don't know where the other ones are. They could be in my life, bottom of my deck. I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and attack the Isho here. We're going to go 8 into 7. It's going to be with 2k counter, most likely. Yep. And then we're going to play out the Sabo, grabbing the life, giving him plus 1,000, but it doesn't really matter. We only did that to gain the life. So we can use the PRB02 ace here. Our following turn. Hopefully we find the baby aces though. I think there's 1 in our trash, so we can just recycle that one as many times as we need to. So long as we find these aces. Should have countered out there so we weren't hit with the Isho. Here's another perfect time to attack or counter out. Oof. It is what it is. We hit us with the Tashigi. Alright, another Isho. I felt it. I felt it in my gut. That's alright. We can get rid of the Luffys. Got rid of the PRB208, the PRB02H, but I think that's because we're at 8 Dawn and we can play out the new gates after. Beautiful. I like that. So here's the engine now. We can play out. I'll see. There are the other 2 ones. Put down a Sabo. We're not going to use this effect. We're just going to use the Iron Whitebeard, cheat it out, draw the card, draw 2, plus it down to our leader, then 2 Residon, 2 Residon to the Sabo. And then we just go for the board. Clear the board out. So 11 into 7, and then 7 into 7. See what they want to do here. And then after that, we can kind of have multiple answers. We have Luffy's, we have baby aces, we have 2 2k counters, and a red rock. So they start playing down big characters. We can manage. We have 2 lives. They have 3. We're a 7,000 power leader. We should just give the baby Luffy here, if possible, or a Sabo, just so we can potentially use those because we don't have any more of the PRB02 aces. Since we already saw 2 in a search, and then we saw another 2 in a search. Alright, we get the free block off here. Followed by an Isho, minus 2,000, making it 3,000, and we just let it go. Alright, they're gonna hit us with the boa, so we can't attack with our blocker, so now we're almost like secure here that, or at least we'll have a blocker because I didn't attack with it. Adjusting my chair here. All right, a little squeaky. We do have a Luffy. Good thing we didn't counter out with that. So now we can cheat that out, making ourselves 2,000 power. And using our engine here, we can still have 6 Dawn to red rock something. All right, 9 into 7. I just don't like the minus 2,000 power from this Yusho. It's so good. So good. But we'll red rock the Boa. It's a very good character. I feel like I can take care of this Yusho attacking into it. 7,000 power leader again. 2 blockers. What do they want to do with their 10 Dawn here? I'm gonna attack one into the attach one to the Yusho. 2. 9 into 7. Gonna be trashing and drawing some cards here. We'll take it. Flampe, 2K counter. Q. They're gonna attach to their leader again. You can block this for free. 7 into 7. Give them a 2K. 6 Dawn left. And they play out another Boa. But it's alright. We have another Nugget. And we can attack with the Luffy. And we draw into the tax. What do they call them? Tax beard? Yeah. So we'll go 9 into 7. And then we can go 7 into 7. Yeah. 2 big old blockers. Trust me. On the next turn, y'all ain't attacking with none of your characters. And we got them down to... We really ate out their hand. So they're not going to be able to attack. Ate that hand. So we have 2 12,000 power blockers. These are free blocks. But I can 2K, 1K here. No problem. Just free block here, to be honest. Because they're not going to attack. I essentially use that Luffy as a blocker. Most likely, I could have saved it, but I don't care enough to do that right now. I have bigger plans. It's like they think I'm going to attack with my blockers. Fine by me. Take that, fool. They're only going to be able to attack once with any of their characters. We'll go ahead and do a little poke. Now they can attack twice because they'll draw a card for their turn. That's alright. We gotta get rid of cards. There you go. Here we go. They're gonna poke me for 9. They're gonna trash 2 cards. And that's gonna be met with the free block. 9 again. You're gonna have to trash the last 2 cards. Honestly, I could take this. And then I can block their leader attack. Now I'll have enough counter for it. But they attach 2 to their Jozu instead. But they can't attack. They have no cards to pay. And now we can block for free. And that's GG. There's going to be 12, 12, 12 coming in up next. There's no getting out of that. Yeah, so GG to my opponent here. That was a brutal mistake. They attached 2 to the Jozu. So instead of swinging, they swung 11 with their leader. Yeah, I think so, instead of 13. Which would have been met anyway with the 12K and then a 2K Flampe. We would have been fine, but that would have been a card out of our hand. But they had a 2K counter, Gion, and looks like a Jozu coming in from life here. Kuzan, great leader, very powerful, awesome passive effect. Just be aware that you need to trash 2 cards to attack. It's not a thing where once you reach 0, like when you take a life and you gain rush, and if you're at 0, you still gain rush. This does not work the same way. If you have 0 cards in hand, you can't attack because you have to pay 2 to attack with the character. Just keep that in mind when you ever see a tax beard out in the wild. But GG to my opponent. That was fun. I got my big bodies out, and the engine was working beautifully. let's go ahead and follow up with the next video. And here we go against Bonnie. Alright. What's the order here? Are we going second? Did we get lucky? We are going second. Alright, and we have the baby ace here, and we have new gates in hand. Everything is as it should be. And we have a PRB02 ace in hand, so even if they end up turning our little ace sideways, we can still use it. Alright, so they play out the Bonnie Searcher, of course. They're resting down a Dawn, doing their search. I should really hover over these cards so we can see them, guys. Alright, we take that first hit. Easy. Let's go ahead and load up our leader effect here. Go ahead and drop down the ace, and we should just attack into the Bonnie. Or actually, no, they don't. It can't rest anything, so 9-1. And we're a 7,000 power leader, kind of ahead of the curve right now. They're going to play something out, but they're not going to be able to attack into us unless it's a Cavendish. But then they sacrifice a Dawn for their leader effect in order to actually attack into us. Let's see. We have a lot of good answers here, but nothing to actually respond to our leader effect. So we better top deck something good, and if not, we might just have to play something out here. It's hard to tell. Attack doesn't go through because it's too low. We're a 7,000 power leader. And they hit it with the Cavendish and restand 2. Fine by me. And there's a baby ace. Let's go ahead and do a search. We can play out the blocker, 6,000 power. See, we put that 2k counter on top of the bottom of our life. And we're going to go ahead and cheat it out. We're kind of baiting them to turn our blocker sideways so we can get an attacking with this ace here. The 2k counter ace. Setting up our top life cards, or our top deck here, so we can use our leader effect a little bit more efficiently. Most likely going to use the PRB02 ace. They rest on our attack. Smart. But at least we have a blocker. Not that it matters, we're a 7,000 power leader. Alright. They have their Cavendish, so most likely they're going to play something out, like a carrot, freezing our ace maybe, and then attacking with their Cavendish, standing those 2 Dawn, and then going ham with their leader. Okay. So although they freeze our ace here, I think it's still worth saving because that's something they will have to deal with eventually if we can deal with their carrot first. So we might have to spend one more turn with it frozen, but as soon as that carrot gets turned sideways, we are going to get rid of it. Because Red Rock is a little expensive to get rid of that card, you know? The way I see Red Rock is it's a 6 cost event. So I'm going to get rid of a 6 cost character or higher. Alright, we get we take that hit. We should have maybe countered with the Luffy, because it would have been such an easy counter, but it is what it is. Here's another new gate. Getting all my big boys today. Alright, we have a Dawn. And there's a I Am Whitebeard event. That's a shame. There's only 2 of those in this deck. But there's a reason there's only 2. That is not part of the engine. It's just a bonus. Like a huge play bonus here. And then we go ahead and get the Rush Ace. And we go 9-6. And they go ahead and rest down the Rush Ace maybe. But we're getting a 7,000 power attack in here. I don't care. They let it go. And we're going to attack with our blocker. Yeah, load it up. Load it up. Yeah, so we're flooding the board consistently here. It's very, feels nice, feels good. So that's pretty much the best way to get around this Bonnie. They'll be attacking into your board as they rest things down, and then attack into your life with the things they play down. This ace, you don't care. Early in the game, yeah, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm in control. Big baddie Bonnie out here. Kicking ass, taking names. But Ace is saying, it's fine, you know. Because the homie's gonna pull up on you mid-game. Look at that, all aces. This is an aces high kind of deck. Alright. This is quite literally This is the ace of spades. If you know, you know. All right, here they go again with the carrot. They're gonna go ahead and probably freeze our 7,000, one of our 7,000 power characters here. PRB02 or the Rush Ace. Either one. Alright, PRB02 Ace, and we counter out here because the carrot is now sideways. We can take care of it. Alright, we can flood again with our PRB02 Ace. We're just gonna go 7 and a 6. My leader being rested down is probably the best bet here, because if I'm attacking with the Ace, then I'm not afraid of my leader being rested down. So most likely one of these new gates are coming out. We're gonna tax them, or we're gonna, play defensively. All right, here we go. Place the PR. We're gonna trash the PRB02 Ace. All right, looks like we're gonna be just chaining these new gates now. 8 and a 6. All right, that's met with the blocker. So 7 and a 6. And they let that one go. They should just let it go the first time, and then block, and then free blocked with the Mihawk for life, because I would have gone into their life 100%. For sure. All right, so they're gonna freeze down 3, our leader included, 3 cards. Boom, boom, boom. They freeze our biggest attacks, and then one of the, just our biggest attacks. They don't see our leader as a threat. Our leader that can become 7,000 power whenever we want. Simple free block, kind of tempting them to use their Mihawk here with the 1k counter with the Luffy. And they rest down their blocker. I love it. I can 2k here. Alright, and we draw into a Zeus. Alright, what do we want to do here? We're going to attack into their blocker. There you go. 12 and an 8, get rid of that. And then I think right now is a good time to play out the other blocker new gate. Get rid of the 6,000 power, yeah. And here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Let's attack into the X-Drake here, and we should probably leave our blocker active. We don't want them sneaking anything here with that Dofi. Excuse me. Oh, we just smacked the shit out of my mic. Oh, well, there goes our new gate, which makes me feel like we're gonna get rid of that Shanks with our Red Rock. We've been sitting on it, and we can use the baby Ace here to buff our leader. It's gonna be the best. So free block if they attack with the Dofi. They know that much, I should hope. All right, let's see what they decide to do. They do leave a Dawn open this time, unless they want to do a search with that Bonnie. So here we go. We got the event. Not that it matters. I don't think we should attack with our blocker, but we will. 12 and 5. Oh, we have to attack with our blocker because then they would rest it. All right, so they rest down our 7,000 power attack, then they take the hit. We're gonna be able to use our leader effect plus the Red Rock. Such a beautiful combination there that we have just enough Dawn for all that. And here we go. We get plus 2,000. Let's see what we want to get rid of here. Looks like the promo Ace and the Viola, because we want the 2k counter. 9 and a 5. And we still have a 7,000 power attack. I don't know if we'll use the blocker. We have 2 blockers. We'll see if we use them though. See what they decide to do. They take that hit. We Red Rock the Shanks. And we still have a attack for 7. Alright, and we go ahead and pass the turn there. They have the Dofi out. We're a 7,000 power leader. That pretty much always forces them to go for our board. Alright, playing out the Mihawk, restanding for Dawn. And then what are you doing with that? We have a 2k counter and 1 3k counter, or unblockable event. Let's see. Potatoes with the Bonnie, so we can't rest our blockers. 10 and a 7. Honestly, answer my prayers here. I can just give him the new, give him nothing. No, man. I'll give him nothing, man. Don't do it. Why are you doing it? Now, they can't even attack with anything other than their blocker, but they're not going to do that. All right, let's see what they do here. All right, so we might replace some of these blockers here for the tax beard. Let's see. We do have to attack first. We do. There's no way around it. 12 and a 10. They can counter out of this pretty easily, to be honest. Let's see what they decide, though. For a very defensive leader, they don't have that many cards. We gotta go for the board. The board is very important to get rid of here. Let's poke them for 7 and see if they rest their leader or their blocker here. Free block, baby. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna attack for 5. A little poke. Yep. We could have definitely gone for lethal, but now we can 100% for sure go for lethal. They only got 1 attack in. They could only get 1. You know what? They could search with the Bonnie, and then they would have 2 attacks. If they wanted to trash cards, of course. But they decided to play out a card instead. A blocker. So I have 2 blockers now. Y'all know that's GG, right? Y'all see that event in my hand. I'm gonna take these hits. Hit me again. I dare you. I dare you. Double dog, dare you. Oh, they're gonna have to decide to attack again. Oh, they're gonna lose the cards. I'm gonna 2K counter here. Yeah. We're gonna load up everything but 2 Dawn. Boom, here you go. 13 and a 5. Are they gonna rest down one of our characters just for shits and giggles? They sure are. Bastards. Interesting that they chose that one. Not that it would matter. Alright, let's see what they have here. Nothing. They have plenty of Dawn active. We had the promo ace here. Good card. But boy, the big bodies are big bodying. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. That was GG to my opponent, of course, and here we are now with the promo red purple allow. Alright, so we are going first. That's unfortunate, and no Flampe in sight. Alright, so we might just have to attack a simple 7 and have the event here for counter if needed. They go ahead and take their first life, or take the hit to life. They play out their searcher. Our hand does look nice though. They're gonna go ahead and add it on, that way they can use their leader effect, and 7 and a 5. We can easily 2K 1K here. Beautiful. And they should pass the turn to us after they do their shenanigans with their leader effect. Alright, so they play out a law here. Nothing we can cheat out really, but we have an answer with Zeus, so we can swap out these 2K counters. Alright, we'll go 8 and a 5. We'll Zeus, grab the 2K, get rid of that law. Pass the turn, they're down to 2 life. Alright, they play out the Black Maria, so they're doing some Dawn shenanigans probably, but we're not going to let them get there. They're going to go 5 and a 5, we'll take the 5. You've been attacking us with huge numbers, but we'll take the 5. Alright, 7 cards in hand, no babies. We'll do our top search. We have PRB02 and the blocker ace. We're going to go ahead and do blocker ace. And do 5 and a 5, then 7 and a 5, and it looks like we might do a Flampe. Alright, playing out the Flampe to draw 2 cards, and there is the baby ace. The engine's about to get going. Let's go. They play out the Eustace Kid. Oof. 5 and a 2. Excuse me. Excuse me. Let's just go ahead and do a search here. Boom. There's the ace. Go ahead and play out the bait. Oh, PRB02 ace, cheating that ace from our hand. Plus 2,000. That way we can flood the board a little bit here. And then 10 and 5. Go ahead and take that. They're taking these lives very aggressively, very greedy of our pony here. I don't know if they have no plays in here or they have too many vanillas or what's going on. But they were taking a hit every single turn essentially here. Okay. But like these blockers they have, look, it looks like, you know, they can get out of everything, but I just need one attack to go through and you're cooked. But let's see what they do. We use our leader effect. I don't have any answers, so I just don't grab anything. I was hoping for a Luffy there. Do 7 and 5. They block. And then they do what? Another 7 and 5. They block. Okay. And they go and just leave there, which kind of makes sense. The game was pretty much over. They only had 1k counter in hand. And let's see what was gonna happen here. I could have maybe attached 5. Yeah, I could have attached 5 to the pudding here, just for using eagles, just so I can attack for 6. And they wouldn't be able to counter. They had to give me a blocker. And then I get him down to 0, and then hopefully I'd survive, which most likely I would have. GG to my opponent. Let's move on to the last and final. Obviously. Let's go ahead and start it against Dofi. All right, did we get to choose here? I don't know if we did, but we're going second. All right, there's that annoying sugar there. So a lot of attacks are going to be met with them gaining life, doing searches, all kinds of baloney. They play out the Dillinger here, so they're definitely going to be able to do a search here on their KO. I don't know how aggressively they can ramp, but we're just going to attack into their board. That is going to be the plan here. Who cares if they gain life? Attack their board to attack their hand. Once the board is clear or there's a clearing in sight, that's when we'll attack their life. All right, we're going to go ahead and gain a life ourselves just so we can prolong the game here. And we can gain another life with the other Viola. But we just have to be careful. It is a blocker. We'll capitalize on that pretty much immediately once things get going here. Doing my leader effect. Grabbing a 2k counter. Placing things in the right order. All right, let's see. We can load up again and go into the sugar. Look at that. They're going to let that one go. All right. They cheat out the Virgin. That's Virgo, but still. All right. We're going to rearrange these. So we're going to put the baby 5 at the bottom, so we don't want them gaining life. So that's 1 less, and they might just have 3. All right. Play out the Monet. The other 2 Monets are in their life. Whoa. Y'all see that shenanigans? Oh well. We'll just let it go. Who cares, guys? Who cares? Just remember where we are. So they attack with the Virgo. It is what it is. We gotta get rid of that card though. Not that we really use any effects here other than the Red Rock, but there's only 2 of those in this deck. Alright. Looks like we are going to be able to give Arrested Dawn to our leader as well if we do use this blocker. Yeah, I like that. And we're going to use the PRB02. Yes, sir. We're going to place those up. Look at that. So we can draw into the ace, then place the blocker ace, and then flood it again. All right, they go ahead and use the Dillinger. We have a blocker. We developed a 7,000 power body and made our leader 7,000 power. BFO. We have good counter, and they're going to go ahead and use the Dofi here just to get rid of our blocker because there's nothing else they can do here. So we can 1k easy. And they don't attack with their leader because they have no more Dawn. But luckily, since we set up the previous turn, we can use the PRB02 ace here. We're divvying up some Dawn here just to see how many attacks we can get off. We're gonna go 9 and 7. Yeah, that's fine. But now we can really load up to make sure we can try to get rid of this Virgo as best as we can. Give us the best chance possible. And here it goes. Rinse and repeat, baby. Oh yeah, drawing to the, yeah, buddy. I like that. I like that a lot. And then we'll draw them. Hopefully. The new gate. I shouldn't use my leader effect because it will go right past them. And they counter out with the Virgo. See, we're attacking their hand. We're ignoring their life. That hand is the issue. Play out another Monet. Go ahead and load up one. 1k counter, easy. 7 and a 7 again. We'll just give them the Viola blocker. 10 and a 7. We can counter out easy. Again, 2k. And they play out a Sugar. Still have one Dawn, still have their leader effect, or the leader attack, but nothing they can do really. I don't think we'll use our leader effect. I think maybe we should attack with one of these characters first into the Virgo maybe. So we should just go 8 into the Virgo. We're gonna go 1 into 1 first. Okay. No, but we shouldn't attach Dawn anyway. Oh no, yeah, we can attach Dawn because we'll be using the Iron Whitebeard event. But it doesn't look like that's gonna be the case here. Still into the Virgo. Keep it going. All right, they get rid of the Monet. And here we go. Yeah, we didn't use our leader effect. That way we can draw the card and tax them. All right, that's fine. Go ahead and counter. You can't attack with it anyway this turn. 5 and 1. That's interesting. That's 2. That's both those cards. Trash. I'll give you a block here, and that's it. That's your turn. And now we can go ham on them. We can get rid of this board. Nice and easy. Not too easy, but pretty easy. See what they do here. Yeah, they redirected to their leader. Perfectly fine. We're just gonna keep attacking. We're gonna go nuts. Yeah, these triggers don't matter. They're just adding Dawn. But now they can use the God Threads to get rid of my aces. We know they were there. We know what's in their hand. They have the Monets. They got, and then that shit, man. That thing, man. The God Threads. And then the last one is the Baby 5. So we're just chilling here, you know, countering out wherever we got. But they didn't use the God Thread. We could have countered out here, could we? I don't know. Let's see how we do it this time. We have another Whitebeard. I guess that's not the play. Okay, I'm signaling here that these 12Ks are going in. So we'll do the first 12 and let's see what they want to do. Do they have the Nor Beam Sword? Yes, sir. We were prepared for it. We saw the 2 Dawn active and it's a purple leader. That's why we said 12 are going through. 12 is going through. But I'll tell you what. I'm going to go for 10. You can't get out of that. You can't get out of the 12. GG to my opponent. That was a very fun game. Dofi got some gas, of course. You know, it's a new leader. I don't know if my opponent here just hasn't played it or what, but it was a good game. I enjoyed it. Ace got the gas. It's a good time. It's a good time, you know what I'm saying? But these were the leaders I was up against today. Red Green Law. It's good. It's just he needs to get those babies out as fast as possible. Hopefully he can find them so he can get his engine going. Kuzan, he just wasn't going for my board as much as he should have. Bonnie, same thing, wasn't going for my board and sneaking in little attacks into my life every now and then. Red Purple Law is just not there yet, man. No offense to the the person who created that deck. It's just not there quite yet, but it's also just a leader that they wanted us to cope with the loss of the actual starter deck, and they gave us this dude. And then Purple Doffy. Purple Doffy is in a league of his own. He can go off or he can be booty. Can't tell if this is just bad deck build or a bad card draw. But if you look at their hand right now, let's go back. If you look at their hand over here, this is essentially everything that was in their life. Pretty funny, other than the Doffies, but still. Let's take this time to mention the fact that it's 1 a.m. right now, and I got the energy to keep going and put these videos out for one reason and one reason only. Do you guys know what that reason is? That reason would be dubbies. I'm not really one for energy drinks, but when the opportunity presents itself, I'm taking dubby on. It's well, how would you say it? It's fuel for your brain. Gets it going. Firing on all cylinders. All right, you don't feel groggy, you don't feel weighed down. It tastes good, it's refreshing. You know, keep that tub next to you, fill up your shaker, keep her going. All right. Thanks to Dubbies for sponsoring this video. Get you some. Get you some, guys. Treat yourself to 10% off. Use code STAYRAD, you know? Get him in, help yourself. Help me. Help them. Help each other out. Dubbies. Stay rad, guys. Dubbies.gg. Get you some energy, alright? But yeah, these were the leaders. Blue Yellow Ace. This is my dude, guys. But that was Blue Yellow Ace. Like and subscribe. Guess I'll see y'all on the next one, right? Deuces.